Team of the week time in week 3 of the November test matches. There were loads of great games, loads of brilliant team performances, but this is all about the individuals that put those team performances together. The person who wore their jersey best out of everyone that did over the weekend. And of course, this is just my opinion. It would be a miracle if we all agreed, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Otherwise, what would be the point in doing it? It's all about your opinion. So let me know yours in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers, and this is, as I see it, for what my opinion is worth, and you'll let me know what you think. This is my team of the week, starting with jersey number 1. Oh, before I get going, just a reminder, I do a 23, not a 15, because rugby more and more, and this weekend demonstrated once again, rugby is absolutely a 23-man game, so only right and proper that I give out 23 jerseys. Number 1, Danilo Fischetti of Italy, who... he's having a really good year. He's been around for a while now, but he's stepped it up a level. And he put in his shadow and he bested at scrum time, albeit South Africa had a lot of the game one man down, which is definitely a context. But nonetheless, Zachary Porthen, and more impressive than anything, Wilco Louw. Very, very few loosehead props have managed to keep Wilco Louw quiet. And Danilo Fischetti managed that. Wasn't on a winning team, but a really strong performance from him. So there you go. Jersey number 1, given out. Jersey number 2, from the same game, Johan Grobelaar. He had turnovers. He had a massive defensive shift, carried really hard. He only got 2 minutes in the Stade de France, and Malcolm Marx was absolutely huge in that game. So he was fresh, but what's more important than that is he will have given Rassie Erasmus and his teammates confidence that if he's needed again in a big game, he could play more than 2 minutes and go toe-to-toe with whoever the opponent is. A really important performance. There were lots of other good hookers, actually. Julien Montoya, Julien Marchand, Ewan Ashman would be a few that I would name. And yes, I have a spot on the bench, so I'll get to the replacements in a little bit. But well done, Johan Grobelaar. Joe Hayes is the tight head for me, and he has been a revelation, and he is kind of emblematic of England's improvement. What was England's weakness? I'm not going to go so far to say it's a strength, but it is no longer something that as an England fan you watch them panicking at scrum time. This incarnation of the England team haven't played the box yet, so let's see how we get on in that one. But I am so impressed with Joe Hayes. Busy around the park, but set piece. I'll go so far as to say this. I genuinely think, and I know Steve Borthwick finished the game with his stronger first-choice front row, his British and Irish Lions front row, but I genuinely think Joe Hayes, on recent performances, is getting very close to being the genuine first-choice tight head prop for England. He's improved so much. So he's my tight head prop for this one. Pedro Rubiolo in the second row. It could well have been Maro Itoje. It was a very close run thing between those two. But Pedro Rubiolo, he got that close-range try at a really important time for Argentina. I've talked about this guy. We quite often celebrate the young players on the planet. You know, people give a lot of talk and a lot of column inches to Henry Pollock, to Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu, rightly so, to Ethan Hooker, and there are others, to Max Jorgensen. Pedro Rubiolo is only 22. He is one of the best young players on the planet, and he's getting more and more influential in this Los Pumas team. He just goes around whacking rocks all day long. You need players like that in your team. He carries hard. He defends hard. He got an important try when it really counted. He's in my team of the week. Alongside Charles Ollivon. His first game for France in the second row. He's played a few games there for Toulon this season. And, I mean, honestly, I watched him play in this game and I thought, why on earth, Fabien Galtier, did you not have Charles Ollivon on the bench last week? If you're going to have him leapfrogging Hugo Oradou with Miafu being out and Flamont being out, well, it was actually Flamont that he's replaced, but Flamont was out. Ollivon came straight in, leapfrogging the guy that was on the bench. And when you think back to that game against South Africa, you just think the leadership. He's a former captain of France. The leadership that he brings. But it wasn't just... his line-out work was superb. He could genuinely be a lock. He stole important line-outs from Fiji. He was tidy on France's own ball. And what he offers you around the park is mammoth. His first game back in a French jersey since the last time he played, which was he was also man of the match last November. A year later, he's back in a different position. He's man of the match again. He's an absolutely wonderful rugby player. So that was awesome to see. There you go. There's the front five. Back row, this was really tricky. Pablo Matera is my blindside flanker. Honestly, he's got to be worth a World Player of the Year nomination. He may well be a contender to win it. I think I would still probably edge for Dan Sheehan or Louis Bielbiere ahead. Maybe Pieter-Steph du Toit would be in the mix as well. But Pablo Matera, another standout performance. Talismanic. You can point to Argentina losing some games in July against England and losing a couple of games heavily in the Rugby Championship. But even in those games, Pablo Matera is never the cause, or he never goes AWOL. He always shows up in brutal fashion, and he did again against Scotland. Talismanic is the word. He came on and, along with Santi Carreras, changed the game. There were a lot of good back row performers. I thought Ryan Baird had a really strong performance for Ireland. I do have spaces on the bench. I'll come to those in a minute. Manuel Zuliani, a player who was on the losing team, but again, absolutely huge. And when you face the Springboks, you have to bring a physical edge. Manuel Zuliani did that in spades. He was a breakdown beast. He was the top tackler in this game. He had more steals on the floor than anyone else in this game. He carried relentlessly. The one tiny little thing that he could have improved on was the pass to Tommaso Menincello at a key moment in the game when Italy, I think, could have gone ahead at that point. Along with other back row players, other flankers, you've got to mention Joan Martin Gonzalez, Sam Underhill, I thought Caelan Doris as well. It's going to be a bit of a bun fight for the spots on the bench among those guys. And to complete the pack, Ben Earl, an absolute tyro for England. And he's done it again. Another player. Is Ben Earl, right? Is Ben Earl, I don't think this is me being biased as an Englishman. Is Ben Earl an outside bet for a World Player of the Year nomination? I think he should be mentioned. I don't think his Six Nations was good, but wasn't at the level of 2024. So I think maybe across the whole year, maybe not. But if he goes and dominates again next week against Argentina, it would be a mammoth month for Ben Earl. He's had a brilliant year. And bearing in mind that before November, it was the news that Tom Willis was choosing not to be part of the future with England because he was going to go and take up a contract offer in France. A massive blow because he was so good over the summer while Ben Earl was off with the British and Irish Lions, getting test caps there as well. Another feather in his cap for a World Player of the Year nomination, or at least being mentioned in dispatches. But Ben Earl has been magnificent. And he was England's best player last year. So he's just continuing the great form. That is the pack done and dusted. What do you think? Let me know what you reckon as we move into the back line. And I'm going to start with Morné van den Berg. I actually found scrum half a little bit tricky, you know. I didn't think that there were that many scrum halves that really played out of their skin well. Alex Mitchell was decent. Cam Roigard, when he was on the pitch, was decent. Slow start and then did some really amazing things for New Zealand. Who else? Jamison Gibson-Park was very good. I've gone for Morné van den Berg. Not perfect, and I think he can be a little bit quicker with his service. Get to the breakdown, then just get the ball away. It always feels a little bit quicker with Reinach and Williams. However, massive defensive effort. And when you're a man down, you need a scrum half to step up and almost be like an extra back row player. And defensively, he did that. He scored an important try. He was playing behind a 7-man pack, which maybe is a bit of context. And bearing in mind the other guys, Reinach and Williams, that I mentioned, have been doing amazing things. He needed a big performance, and I thought he had a good one. He's in my team of the week. In the half-back position alongside, no surprise, George Ford, who was majestic. Drop goals, spiral bombs, 50-22. Like, actually, drop, not just the kicks, goal kicks as well, dropping the hammer when it was on, when there was space and when there was opportunity, just letting the ball fly. And he was absolutely brilliant. And I don't want to keep going on about it, but 1 year ago, 1 year ago, do you know what? 1 year ago, I could go back and look at the videos and the comments. I was called by a number of England fans a Borthwick apologist and delusional for defending George Ford. And 1 year on, there's a lot of people doing that impression of Homer Simpson reversing into the hedge, pretending they never said what they said a year ago. This guy is class. And he was the best fly half of the week, in my humble opinion. Although Sam Prendergast was very good. Santi Carreras, when he came on, very good. I will come to the bench in a minute. To the centres. Juan Ignacio Brex. Yes, he wore 13. But Italy don't really play inside and outside centre. They play, well, they're fluid. Him and Menincello, Brex and Cello, play kind of as a fluid pair. They used to do that for club level. They still do that at international level. Juan Ignacio Brex, the variety of kicks, the carries, the defence, the leadership. He was absolutely fantastic. I thought Ethan Hooker was really good as well. Fraser Dingwall looked promising for England. But Brex was the best of the centres, along with, in my humble opinion, Ollie Lawrence, who, what do you know, playing in his strongest position. You can play him at 12. He will do a job there, but he looks so much more comfortable at 13. He's a physical, hard-running threat who attracts defenders, but he just looks to have a little bit more time. He's not as he's not that second distributor from 12. He's more of a hard runner from 13 who can attract defences and also has got some wheels and strength and offend to take advantage of some outside channels. I thought he had a really, really strong game for England at 13. Set up that try for Fraser Dingwall brilliantly at a crucial point in the game. Those are my two centres. To the back three. And on one wing, Juita Vainikolo. This guy is absolutely box office. What a box of tricks he has got. And the strength, the speed, the balance, the swerve, the steps. He is dynamite in the top 14. Fiji have got some absolute game breakers. None more so than Juita Vainikolo, who was brilliant. Fantastic try that he scored. And yeah, definitely the best of the out-and-out wingers this week. Here I am going to cheat. Okay, I readily accept I am cheating here because I'm playing a player in a position that he didn't strictly play at the weekend. But it's the position we've seen him play more often than not. Mack Hansen did give confidence that he can be a genuine fullback. I've snuck him in on the right wing. Reason being, there's so many good fullback performances. So many good fullback performances that I had to accommodate more of them in the squad. And there weren't nearly as many really, really strong wing performances, I didn't feel. I thought Emmanuel Faye-Waboso and Rodrigo Isgro were quite good. But other than that, and Vainikolo, I thought the wingers were a little bit meh, to be honest. Part of that was conditions in some games. Part of that was just that it was well-matched teams, so they kind of cancelled each other out. Mack Hansen, the return of the Mack attack, he was back with a... No, I'm not going to do any more. I'll just say he was fantastic. 3 tries, and the ovation he got from the crowd tells you everything about what the Irish fans think of him, and rightly so. So yes, I've snuck him on the right wing, but he's in. And I've snuck him on the right wing because I've got to get Damian Phillips in. How good was he? Man, that guy is strong and quick and balanced. And I'll talk about his step and fend. He always evades the first tackle. He is just such a good talent. And I think he would get in any nationality, any country in the world. He would get in your starting team because you could accommodate him at 10, at 12, at 15. It's going to be interesting to see where he does end up. He looks so good. And a man short, a guy that can cover 3 different positions is quite handy because he pops up all over the place. So that is my 15. As for the bench, quite tricky this one, Hooker. So I went with Grobbelaar as my starter. I've gone with Julien Marchand as my backup. He is in such good form for France. They're missing Piato Malvaca, and there's a bit of a drop-off from Malvaca and Marchand. Marchand's playing such good rugby at the minute. He's such a dangerous turnover threat. He's carrying hard. His set piece is good. He's a good scrummaging hooker. Montoya and Ashman were close, but Marchand gets the spot. Pierre Schoeman stayed on for... he did stay on for the whole game, didn't he? He carried hard. Scrum was solid. He's just an absolute wrecking ball of a player. I'll give a shout for Finn Baxter. And I cannot believe I'm doing this. The pain that I have experienced as an England fan in a Rugby World Cup semi-final when we were a scrum away from a World Cup final, in the Rugby World Cup final in 2019 when we got obliterated, atomised, marmalised up front, and it was an Achilles heel for England, the scrum. I'm not saying it's a strength, but it is not really a weakness anymore in the way it was. Touch wood, fingers crossed. And so I've got both England tight head props in my team of the week. Tell me if you disagree. I don't think anyone played better than England's 2 tight head props. It's just the way I see it. And I'm trying to be as objective as I possibly can. Which, honestly, I can't tell you. Like, I'm taking my kind of trying to be objective hat on, putting my England fan hat on. I cannot tell you how good that makes me feel. Two England tight head props in a team of the week. I don't think I've ever done that before. And I didn't imagine I would be doing it anytime soon. But there we go. Will Stewart came on and just took the scrum up another level from Joe Hayes. And there was one against the head against New Zealand. Unreal. Anyway, let's move on. Ryan Baird is on the bench. He ruined Australia's line out. He is a beast around the park. And he's given a glimpse of what he's capable of. He's such a physical specimen. He's capable of even more than that. And hopefully it's just a start for Ryan Baird. But he was very strong. And alongside him, his skipper, Caelan Doris, looked a little bit more natural when he was shifted to number 8. It'll be interesting to see what they do when they come up against South Africa. And I was fortunate, lucky, privileged enough to be in South Africa to watch the test matches in Pretoria and Durban when Ireland went there last year. And this guy was absolutely heroic in that game. And he just carried into brick walls against Australia and managed to get through him. He is such a fine rugby player. He was, again, a lot of competition. I've already mentioned João Martin Gonzalez, Sam Underhill as well. Could have got this spot. I've given it to Caelan Doris. Scrum half, Jamison Gibson Park. 3 Irishmen in a row, all on the bench. And I thought Gibson Park was great. Even when he dropped into the backfield. Showed his range of kicking. He's just a really, really strong rugby player. Had Cam Roigard been able to stay on the whole pitch, a whole match and not got injured, he might have been there because he did some awesome things while he was on the field. And the game really changed for New Zealand when he went off. And from England's perspective, I thought Alex Mitchell had a really good game. His kicks were, on the whole, on the money. So then, 2 spots left. Back replacements. Ethan Hooker. He slotted in the wing for parts. He played the majority in the centre, carried hard, and a man down, you're that little bit more stretched. He slotted in at flanker on the scrums. He got a try, his very first try in international rugby. Surely a nominee for World Breakthrough Player of the Year. And I think it's between Ethan Hooker and Fabian Holland to win it. I'd probably go for Holland, but he had to pull out of the game this weekend. So Hooker has a big game against Ireland if he gets selected, and could be his. It's close. And finally, number 23, Santi Carreras, who came on and changed the game, took control of it, broke Scottish hearts, showed how good he is, and Argentina are building depth. They still don't have enough props. They could do with although the scrum half actually did all right today, but they could do with a scrum half that's a bit closer to Gonzalo Garcia. But now they've got a genuine, high quality, seriously elite option at 10 and 15 in Santi Carreras off the bench. And even with Prisiantelli developing quite nicely as a young 10, they're like, at least on attack, they are going to be a lot of fun for some time ahead. And I really like what Felipe Contepomi is doing. Santi Carreras bossed it. A shout for Sam Prendergast, who was good. A shout even for Marcus Smith, who was good at fullback for England when he came on. So there we go. That's the 23. As for the top 3 players of the week in bronze, silver, gold fashion, who would you pick? Who was the best players of the week? I found it really hard. I've gone for Manuel Zuliani with the bronze. I just thought he was an animal in that game against South Africa. A weird stop-start game. And yeah, Zuliani was fierce. Damien Phillemser, who was just pure class. I love to watch this guy. And there were so many other good contenders. It could have been Pablo Matera, could have been Santi Carreras, could have been Charles Olivon. Yeah, those are it could have been Mac Hansen. Those are the other 3 contenders for a bronze, silver, or gold. The gold though goes to George Ford, imperious, majestic. To put it in context, England have only ever beaten New Zealand in the history of the sport 9 times. 9 times. There you go. 9 times. That's it. I can't count on 2 hands the number of times England have beaten New Zealand. And they got a very, very rare and very, very special win. And this man orchestrated it. He's my player of the week. As for the 23, there you go. That's what it looks like. So you have got 5 Englishmen, 4 South Africans, 4 Irishmen, sorry. So 4 South Africans, 4 Irishmen, 5 Englishmen, 2 Frenchmen, 3 Italians for a losing side. That's pretty good. 1 Scot and 1 Fijian. There you go. Sorry, Wales. Sorry, Japan. Sorry, Australia. You're not represented this time. Or New Zealand. God, no New Zealand players. Hadn't even clocked that. Anyway, there we go. That is my team of the week. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. Hit subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.